Good everyone, my name is Graphics. Today we'll be looking at exponential equation. And let's start with problem 1. Example 1. We have 4 raised to power x over 2 is equal to 32 raised to power 2x minus 1. Now we know one thing for sure, that if I have x, for instance, raised to the power of what? Y, right? We know the y is the power, or you call it the exponent, and we know the x is what? Is the base, right? So we have 4 to the power of x divided by 2 is equal to 32 to the power of 2x minus 1. Now what you do, if you look at this very well, you discover that everything you see here can be divided by 2. I can take this to a number in base 2 just for them to conform with this 2 here. So take all values to a number in base 2, right? So we'll be having 2 raised to the power of 2, and we have the x equals to 2 raised to the power of 5, because 2 raised to the power of 5 is 32, and we'll have 2x minus 1 divided by 2 raised to the power of what? 1. Because 2 raised to the power 1 is 2. Now this can furtherly be written as 2 raised to the power of 2 times x will give me what? 2x all over what? 2 raised to the power of 1. It equals to 2 raised to the power of what? 5 times 2x will give me 10x. 5 times 1 will give you minus 5. So we're having this, right? Now, how this come about is that recall, if I have a raised to the power of n into bracket what? N, it will give me a raised to the power what? N. That is a law. Now we move forward. This will be, now the next thing we'll do here is we're going to cross multiply, right? So by cross multiplying, taking these 2 up here, because anything you see is over 1, so this is like saying 2 over 1, so I'm taking this up here. So I'm going to be having 2 raised to the power of what? 2x is equals to 2 raised to the power of what? 10x minus 5 multiplied by what? 2 raised to the power of what? 1. So I what? I can multiply. I took this up here. Now the next thing you do is, since they have the same base here, so they are going to add. So recall, there's a law that says that am multiplied by an will give us what? Am plus n. When you have the same base multiplying each other, you are going to what? Add the power. So by adding this power, I'm going to be having this. I'll have 2 raised to the power of what? 2x equals to what? 2 raised to the power of what? 10x minus 5 plus 1. That is the law here. You add this with this. So now if you look at this very well, I can say that they are saying 2 raised to the power of 2x is equals to what? 2 raised to the power of what? 10x minus 5 plus 1 will give you minus 4. Now if you look at these 2, they are what? Equal base. They are what? Equal base. equal base equates. So there's a law that says that if you have the same base, they what? They cut out. So you're left with 2x is equals to 10x minus 4. Now the next thing you do here, you collect like terms. The value that are the same, you bring them together. That's what I mean by saying collecting like terms. So in doing that, I'm going to be having 2x. I'll bring a 10x to this side. 10 has a positive in front of it, so when it's coming, it becomes what? Negative 10x. Equals to what? Left with what? Minus 4. We're leaving a minus 4 here. So 2x minus 10x will give you minus 8x. Right? We'll be having minus 8x equals to minus 4. If you divide, you want the x to stay alone, so you divide with what is close to the x. So what is close to the x? Minus 8. So I'll be having minus 8x all over minus 8 is equals to minus 4 over what? Minus 8. So minus 8 will equate minus 8. I'm left with what? X. And that will give me minus to equate minus 4 in year 1 in 8. How many? 2. So I'll be having 1 over 2. That is my answer, x, which is equals to what? 1 over 2. So now the next question 2. We have 9 times 27 to the power of x, 2x minus 3, divided by 3 to the power of 2 raised to the power and 2 to the power of 2x equals to 3 to the power of x plus 2 divided by 81. Now if you look at this, they have one thing in common. They can be divisible by 3. Right? 3 can go in everything you see here, and 3 is the lowest base. So what you have to do here, you take everything to a number in base 3. So you take all values to what? A number in base 3. So we are going to be having 3 with the power of what? 2. That is for 9. Multiply by 3 with the power of what? 3. That will be what? 27, because 3 times 3 times 3, 27, into bracket 2x minus 3, right? All over 3 with the power of what? 2x equals to what? 3 with the power of what? X plus 2 all over 3 with the power of what? 4. Because 3 to the power of 4 is 3, will give you 81. So 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 is what? 81. Now in doing that, I am going to cross multiply. I'm going to take this 3 to the power 4 to this side, and I'm going to take this 3 to the power of what? 2x to this side. Right? So in doing that, from here I'll be having 3 to the power of 2 multiplied by 3 to the power of 3 times 2x is what? 6x. 3 times 3 is what? 9. Then I'm taking this up now to be multiplied by 3 to the power of what? 4. So I've taken this up equals to, I'll take this up too. I'll start with this 3 to the power of x plus 2 multiplied by 3 to the power of what? 2x. So I've taken this up, so we'll call cross multiplication. Now from here, they all have the same base. Like I said earlier, recall when you have a to n multiplied by a to n multiplied by a to o, or let me put it p, it's going to give me a to the power of what? N plus p. They're going to add all the powers. So that will have here, since all the bases are the same, so I'll be having 3 to the power of 2 plus 6x minus 9 plus 4. So I add 2 plus this. 2 equals to 3 to the power of what? X plus 2 plus 2 plus 2x. Right? Now if you see this, if you collect like terms here, I'll be left with 3 to the power of 2 plus 9. 2 minus 9 will give you minus 7. Then we're left plus 4. 2 minus 9 will give you minus 7 plus 4. And our value will be, let me just write it out, plus 4 plus 6x is equals to x plus 2x will give you what? 3x plus 2. So from here, minus 7 plus 4 will give you minus 3. So I'll be having 3 raised to power what? Minus 3 plus 6x equals to what? 3 raised to power what? 3x plus 2. Now when you have equal base, they equate, right? So this will equate this. I'll be left with minus 3 plus 6x is equals to what? 3x plus 2. Now the next thing you do here, you collect like terms, bring what the similar ones together. So I'll leave 6x here. I'm going to bring 3x here, so the positive here will turn to minus. I'll be having minus 3x equals to, I'll leave 2 here. I'm bringing minus 3 here to become plus what? Plus 3. So 6x minus 3x will give you 3x equals to what? 5. So I want the x to stay alone, so I'll divide both sides by what is close to the x, which is 3. So I'll be having 3x all over 3 is equals to 5 all over 3. This will equate this, so x will be equals to what? 5 over 3. So that is what we're having. Thank you. So the next one is this, which is telling me 3 to the power of 5x minus 2 equals to 9 to the power of x to the power of square, or 9 to the power of x squared. Now from here, if you recall now, this 3 can go into 9, right? So it means I can take 9 to a number in base 3. So I'll be having 3 to the power of 5x minus 2 equals to what? 3 to the power of what? 2, because 9 is 3 to the power 2 is 9. So there is what? An x squared close to it, right? Now from here, I can be having 3 to the power of what? 5x minus 2 equals to what? 3 to the power of what? 2x squared. So the bases are equal, so they equate because of this equal sign here, right? So we'll be left with 5x minus 2 equals to what? 2x squared. Now as it is this way, you collect like terms, but in this case there is nothing that is a like terms here, but I can move everything to one side. So since 2x squared, the x here has the bigger degree of 2, this x here has a degree of 1, so we'll be writing it like you are saying 2x squared, this plus 5x will come to this side, minus 5x, minus 2 will come to this side, we have what? Plus 2. So we equals to what? 0. So it has led to what? A quadratic equation. It has led to a quadratic equation. Now we're going to solve this quadratically, right? So from here, what you do is you multiply these two together, right? You multiply the two together, you'll be having 2x square here, right? We multiply these two together, we're having what? 2x square here, and you'll be having, you bring this minus 5x to write it down. Now if you look at it very well, this 2x square here is gotten as a result of what? Multiplication. So whatever you're writing here, you got it as a result of what? Multiplication, right? And for this other one here, whatever you're writing there should be as a result of what? Addition of what? Or subtraction. So you're going to ask yourself, which two values would I add together? So you look for two values, they are going to multiply, that will give you 2. When you add or subtract, it will give you, because 2x squared times 2 is what? Is 4x squared. So this is 4x squared here. So you look for two values, you multiply, that will give you 2, that will give you 4, and when you add or subtract, it will give you 5. Now I know that I have 4x times what? X. That is 1x, right? So now, but this 4 is positive, this 5 is what? Negative. So if I put my negative here and I put my negative here, minus times minus is what? Plus. 4x times L give you 4x squared. Now if I'm writing it down, I'll only remove the times. I'll be having 4x minus x. I'll just remove the times away. So minus 4 minus 4x minus x will give you what? Minus 5x. So if I want to rewrite this equation here now, I'll be having 2x squared. So I'm writing minus 5, I'll put minus 4x minus x minus 4x minus x, then plus 2 equals to what? 0. Now I'm going to share them into two parts. In one part I'll be having 2x squared minus 4x, I'll put it in brackets. In the other part I'll be having minus x plus 2, I'll put in another bracket. So I'll add both of them together. So equals to what? 0. Now if you look at what is common here, 2 can go in 4 here, so 2x is common. So if I bring 2x out here, I'll be left with what? If I bring 2x out, I'll be left with what? X minus what? I'll be having x minus what? 2. What I'll be having? So it means that if I have 2x squared minus 4x and I bring out 2x out, it means I'm going to divide through by what? 2x. That's what I mean by factorization. So 2 in 2 cancel x in here 1, remove 1x, right? Then 2 in here 1, in 4 here 2, x will cancel x, so I'm left with what? The x minus 2, which is this here, right? So plus, now you ask yourself, what would I multiply with minus x to get minus x, right? And that will be what? 1 minus 1, right? So I'll bring out the minus 1, or you can say whatever I have here, I will surely have it here, x minus 2. Whatever is here must be here. So ask yourself, what will I multiply with x again minus x, and that is what? Minus 1. So equals to what? 0. So from here, I'll be having 2x minus 1, and I'll be having x minus 2 equals to what? 0. So 2x minus 1 is equals to 0, or x minus 2 is equals to what? 0. If I take minus 1 to this side, 2x will be equals to what? 1, or x will be equals to what? If I take 2 to this side, equals to 2. So what I'm having 2x and I want x to stay alone, so I'll divide with the number that's close to x. So I'll be having 2x over 2 is equals to what? 1 over 2. So 2 will equal 2. So my x here will be equals to what? 1 all over 2. So that's what we're having here. So my x is 1 over 2, or my s is equals to what? 2. So that will be my answer there. Thank you. Now, another example is this. I have 5 to the power of 2x minus 5 to the power of 1 plus x is equals to what? 0. Now, as it is this way, this man here, we're having this, they are not multiplying. What we've been doing all this while is that everything has been what? Multiplying each other. But now they are now starting introducing a negative and a positive sign to the base. So what you do is this: you say recall. You know, whenever you have a to the power of what? M plus n, we are going to be having a m multiplied by what? A n. Am I correct? Yep, I am. So that means the 5 goes to the power of 1 plus x, this man here, will be equals to what? 5 raised to the power 1 times what? 5 raised to the power of what? X. So whenever I see 5 raised to the power 1 plus x, I'm going to put this. So I'll be having 5 to the power of 2x minus, so I will not write this anymore, I will come and write this, which will bring me 5 to the power of 1 multiplied by what? 5 to the power of x plus 6 equals to what? 0. Now I can write this by putting this way, by interchanging it, because if I have 5 2x, it can be written as saying 5 squared and x, and it can also be written as saying 5. So from now I will be having this, right? And which can also be written as x to the power of what? 2, because multiplication is associative. I can always interchange them, right? So I'll write it this way. I'll write my 5 to the x to the power of what? 2 minus 5 raised to the power 1 is 5 to the 5 raised to the power x. The same thing I multiply by each other is the same thing. So plus what? Plus 6 is equal to what? 0. Now I have something that I can work with. I'm having 5 to the power of x, 5 to the power of x, so I can say let p be equals to 5 to the power of what? X. Right? So anywhere I see p, I put what? Anywhere I see 5 raised to the power x, I put p. So we have p square. This 5 is p raised to the power 2 minus 5p. This 5 to the power of x is also p. Then plus what? Plus 6 equals to what? 0. Now it has led to what? A quadratic equation. So we're going to solve quadratically. So the first step, so you look for two values. When you multiply these two here, 6 times p square will give you 6p square, right? Then we have the next one will be what? 5 minus 5p. So the first one is as a result of what? Multiplication. And the other one is as a result of what? Addition or what? Subtraction. So what you do here will be this. You look for two values, you multiply, that will give you 6. And when you add or subtract, to give you what? 5. So the two values are what? 3x times what? 2x. Give you 6p squared, right? Because 3 times 2 is 6. X times x is what? Let me call it p here, sorry. Let me put it here, p, since we are dealing with p. So we're having this. Now, but these have a negative. So if I put my negative here and negative here, negatives and negative will give you positive. But when I move my times here and I'm having minus 3p minus 2p, I move the multiplication here. So minus 3p minus 2p will give you what? Minus 5p. So I'll come here and I'll say p square minus 3p minus 2p. So instead of writing minus 5p, I've replaced it with what? Minus 3p minus 2p, then plus 6 equals to what? 0. Now you separate them into two equal parts. So I have p squared minus 3p in one bracket plus minus 2p plus 6 in another bracket. So you separate them into two equal parts here. Equals to what? 0. Now after that, you look what is common here. What's common here? I have p here, I have p here. So I'll bring p out. So I'll be left with 1p minus 3. So p times p is p squared, p times 3p is 3p. So I'll come here also, whatever I have here, I'll place it here. Right? So what would I multiply with p? That'll give me minus 2p. It is what? Minus 2. So equals to what? 0. From here, I'll be having p minus 2, p minus 2, then I'll be having p minus 3. So equals to what? 0. Now p minus 2 equals to 0, or p minus 3 is equal to 0. So p will be equal to what? If minus 2 come here, we are having 2, or p will be equal to what? 3. Right? Now, if you look well, our p is what? Is 2, or our p is what? 3. So from here, this is what we have. We'll move forward. But p is equal to what? 5x. So wherever I see p, I put 5x. So this will now give me 5 to the power of x is equal to what? 2, or 5 to the power of x is equal to what? 3. That's where I'll stop. I cannot move further from here. Thank you. Next example will be this. You can pause the video and do this for yourself. So now, first of all, I expand. So by expanding, I'll be having 8 times 4 raised power x. Since they are not the same, this has the power of x, so it will just be 8 times what? 4x, 4 raised power x, minus 8 into bracket what? 2x. I'm expanding. You can multiply them together, they are not like terms. So plus 2 is equals to what? 2 to the power of what? 1 plus x. Now you can move further by saying recall a raised power m plus n is equals to what? A raised power what? M times a raised power what? N. So 2 to the power of what? 1 plus x will give me 2 to the power of 1 times 2 to the power of what? X. So from here, I can search forward by writing this to be 8 4 to the power of x minus 8 2 to the power of what? X plus 2 is equal to, instead of me writing this, which is this, I write this. We have 2 to the power of 1 times 2 to the power of what? X. So from here, if you notice everything here, especially the one in the brackets, I have 2 raised power x and so on. I can make this to a number in base 2 to just conform with this. So I'll be having 8 to the power into brackets 2 to the power of what? 2. Then we have what? X close to it, right? So I can put it that way. Minus 8 to the power of what? 2x plus 2 is equals to 2 into bracket 2 to the power of what? X. Now from here, I can rewrite this to be 8 into bracket 2 to the power of x, everything is power 2, minus 8 2 to the power of x plus 2 into bracket what? 2 to the bracket power of what? 2 to the power x, right? That's what we're having. Now from here, we have many things in common here. So I will just say they are index form here. So we'll now say that let, you can choose, take any alphabet. I can say let arrow be equals to what? 2 to the power of what? X. Anywhere I see arrow, I place that guy here. So from here, anywhere I see this, I'll be having 8. So instead of writing this, which is 2 to the power of x, I'll be having what? R. Right? There's a square there. Minus 8. We're going to write arrow again. Plus 2 equals to 2 to the power of what? R. So I'll replace my 2 to the power x to the power of what? 2 to R. Now, I'll be having this to be 8r square minus 8r plus 2 equals to what? 2r. So I'll collect like terms. If these two come here, I'll be having I'm going to be having 8r square minus 8r minus 2r is coming here, so deposit onto negative, then plus 2 is equals to what? 0. So we'll be having 8r square minus 10r, because minus 8 minus 2 give minus 10, plus 2 is equals to what? 0. So I'm having a quadratic equation. So in doing that, I will now place it this way by saying multiply these two together. 8 times 8r squared times 2 give me what? 16r squared. Then we have minus 10r. So you ask yourself, two value multiplied will give you 16, and when you add subtract it will give you 10. I know of I know of two values which are 8 and what? And 2. So if I have arrow here, I have arrow here, and I'm multiplying them together. So 8 times 2 is 16, arrow times arrow is arrow square, right? But in this case I have a negative, so it means that this will be minus and here will be minus. So if I remove the times here, to be minus 8 arrow minus 2 arrow, and that will give us minus 10 arrow. So instead of me writing minus 10, I'll be writing minus 8 arrow minus 2 arrow. So I have 8 arrow square minus 8 arrow minus 2 arrow plus 2 equals to 0. So I'm not writing minus 10 anymore, I'm replacing to this. So move forward. So from here I'm going to be having, I'll separate them into two equal parts. So this will give me 8 arrow square minus 8 arrow minus 2 arrow plus 2. So I'll add them together, equals to what? 0. From here, what is common here? I have 8 here, I have 8 here, so I'll bring the 8 out. I have arrow here, I'll bring the arrow out. So in doing that, if I remove one arrow here and one 8 here, I'll only left what? Arrow minus what? Minus 1, right? Because 8 arrow times arrow give you 8 arrow square, 8 arrow times 1 will give you 8 arrow. So whatever I have here, I will have it here, arrow minus 1, right? So all you multiply with arrow, that give you minus 2 arrow, and that is what? Minus 2 equals to what? 0. So from here, I'm having 8 arrow minus 2. Then I have arrow minus 1. So equals to what? 0. Right? So equals to 0. Now from here, 8 arrow minus 2 is equals to 0, or arrow minus 1 is equals to what? 0. So from here, we'll now say that 8 arrow will give me what? When the minus 2 come, you'll be having just 2, or arrow equals to what? 1. So from here, but before the but here, we'll move forward. If I divide, because arrow is 8 arrow and I want arrow to stay low, I'll divide both sides by 8. So I'll be having 8 arrow over 8 is equals to 2 over 8. 8 will equate 8. 2 here, 1 in 8, how many? 4. So my arrow equals to what? 1 over 4, or arrow equals to what? 1. That's my arrow value here. So the next thing, but arrow is equals to what? 2 to the power of what? X. If you remember what we did here, arrow is equals to 2 to the power of x. So from here, we'll move forward. So from here, instead of writing arrow, I'll put 2 to the power of x is equals to what? 1 over 4. Or, instead of putting arrow, I'll put 2 to the power of x is equals to what? 1. So from here, I can take it to a number in base 2. So I'll be having 2 to the power of x is equals to 1 over what? 2 square, which will give me 4. Or 2 to the power of x. I can take a number that is similar to this, which is 2, to a number to a power of 0. If I take 2 to the power of 0, 2 to the power of 0 is 1, a bit, so I was saying the same thing. So from here, I will move forward. Whenever a value from the denominator is going up, the power will have negative. So I'm having 2, the power of s equals to what? 2 minus 2. Negative will showcase. Or 2 to the power of s is equals to what? 2 is power 0. So they have equal base. So this will equate this. X will be equals to what? Minus 2. Or this will equate this. X will be equals to what? 0. So that is my what? My answer. Thank you. Now, let's look at this other example. It said if 2 to the power of x plus y is equals to 8 and 3 to the power of 2x minus y is equal to 7, find the value of x and y. Now you take this first one to be equation 1, you take the second one to be equation 2. Now if you have to rewrite this again, you'll be having, if you look at this, you realize that 2 can go in 8, right? So you can take 8 to a number in base 2, which will be 2 raised to the power 3. So I'll be having 2 x plus y is equals to what? 2 to the power of what? 3, which will give us 8, right? It is still my equation 1. And also I can take 3 can go to 7, and I can take 27 to a number in base 3. So I can say that 3 to the power of 2x minus y is equals to what? 3 to the power of what? 3, which will give me 27. So this is still my equation what? Equation 2. Now in equation 1, equal base equates. So 2 will equate 2. I'll be left with what? X plus what? Y equals to what? 3. It is still my equation 1. Right? Now 3 equate 3 also in equation 2. I'll be having what? 2x minus y is equals to what? Is equals to 3 also, right? So this is still my what? Equation 2. Now you solve equation 1 and 2 simultaneously. Solve it simultaneously. So if you look at it very well, by adding both of them. So when now by solving simultaneously, if you add by adding them, if you add x plus 2x will give you 3x, right? So we have 3x, 2 y minus y will give you 0, plus 0 is equals to what? 3 plus 2 give you 6. So I'll be left with 3x is equals to what? 6. So if you divide both sides by the value that is close to x, because you want x to stand alone, we're having 3x all over 3 is equals to 6 all over what? All over 3. This will equate this. So the x here will be equals to what? 2, because 3 here 1 in 6 is what? Is 2. Now you substitute x equals to 2 in equation 1. This equation here or equation 2, any of them, you have the same value. So for equation 1, I'm having x plus y equals to 3. So anywhere I see x, I put 2. So I'm having 2 plus y equals to 3. So this will be y will now be equals to 3 minus 2. When 2 comes to this side, it will become negative. So my y will be equals to what? 1. So the value of x is equals to 2 and y is equals to what? 1. So that will be my answer there. So thank you very much for watching.